Degenerate Dillon Podcast, where Dillon has you covered with everything from spreads to futures to prop bets. Follow him every weekday as we pick daily best bets using stats, analytics, and a little bit of luck. Now here's your host, Degenerate Dillon himself, Dylan Nelson.
Welcome in, guys, to another episode of the Degenerate Dillon podcast or show, however you are listening or watching. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. We're going to do a quick episode today going over the 4 Elite 8 games, and then tomorrow we'll be switching back over to mainly NBA and a little bit of baseball. I've got my Cash League baseball draft tomorrow, so we'll go over who I drafted, why I drafted, who I like this year, and fantasy lineups. But first, going over the Oregon State and Houston game, the line set at 7.5 in favor of Houston. And why not? Because Houston has been shooting and playing defense tremendously. It seems like they've pretty much blown out everybody they've played, and even in their conference championship game against Cincinnati, they won by 20, 30 points. So for good reason, but Oregon State, just the way they've played recently, I mean, it's easy to take Houston in the 2 seed here to cover the 7.5, but I don't think that's the play. I think the play is 7.5 in favor of Oregon State. I just don't see Houston just manhandling Oregon State the way that they've played these last 4 games, including the conference tournament. I mean, they've just been playing out of their mind. They've really been playing better than they probably should be. But that's what makes these 12 seed teams so dangerous if they turn on at the right time. 12, 13, 14 seeds. Just Cinderella. This is pretty much the last Cinderella of the bunch. I don't think most people would consider UCLA a Cinderella team. I mean, it's UCLA Bruins. It's not a Cinderella team. I don't care if they're 11 seed or not. But yeah, Oregon State plus a 7.5 is my play here. I do like the over. The total point is 129.5. I like the over in this game. Houston's been scoring a lot of points. I think Oregon State's going to have to score a lot of points in order to stay in this game with Houston. So I like the over of 129.5, but I do like the 7.5 on Oregon State's side. Moving over to the Arkansas and Baylor game, which is the nightcap tonight. Listen, I'm an Arkansas fan. We know that. I don't see Arkansas winning this game tonight. I just don't. I don't. I see them covering the 8. I think that's definitely the play here. I could understand why a lot of Razorback fans might want to play the plus 300 money line to try to make some money on them. And you know what? That's not terrible. I'm not going to advise you against that. And just in my humble opinion, I don't think that's the play. I think Arkansas keeps it close. Listen, like I was talking about earlier today with a buddy of mine, Arkansas cannot do what they've done basically this whole tournament. You cannot get down early and have to shoot your way back into this game. This team is going to play defense. They're going to clamp up. And more than likely, they haven't done it. They didn't do it against Villanova, at least not in the first half, and they haven't done it lately as well as maybe the first part of their season. But this team is a great shooting team. They could come out and they could absolutely light you up from deep. So do not get behind early, and you could keep this a game. I will obviously be rooting for Arkansas. I'll be rooting my heart out. I'll be at Bud Walton Arena tonight watching it with whoever, comes to join on the big screen. But in my unbiased, humble opinion, Arkansas is not going to win this game, but it will be close. I'm not even going to throw a score prediction out there. I will play the over of 148. I think that's probably one of my locks of the night is the over of 148. I think both these teams are going to score heavily tonight. They haven't done it in this tournament, but I think you have that feeling that Arkansas is due for one of those shooting nights where they score 80 plus. And I think Baylor fans feel the same way. I think Baylor fans feel like they should be scoring 80 plus points, every other night. And that just hasn't happened for either of these teams. So I could definitely see them getting into a shooting contest tonight. But then again, you could play the under just based off how good defensively both of these teams are. So I'll leave that up to you. But I think my play is the over. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. USC and Gonzaga tomorrow at 7:15. Man, if there was a team up to this point that could beat Gonzaga, it's definitely USC. The Mobley brothers are ridiculously good. This team passes the ball very well. Their point guard, I can't remember his name, a little small guy, he could shoot the ball. I saw him last night in the game. They played last night against Oregon, run up and literally not even set his feet, just shoot the ball from 3-point after running up the court. Nobody in his face, but just run up, not even set his feet, and shoot the three and make it. And he shot really well last night. This team has the makings of a team and the size and the good passing and the rebounding that can at least play with a Gonzaga team, if not beat them, play with them. So this 9-point Gonzaga line, I really like USC. That's going to be my other lock, USC plus the 9. I don't think there's any way that Gonzaga just steamrolls this team like they've steamrolled basically all the other teams they've played. I don't think so. I think USC is here to stay. I think they're here to play around. I could definitely see USC plus 350 money line play making you a lot of money if you have faith. I don't know though. Don't know. I'm not going to bet that. I'm going to plug a lot of money into this plus 9 line in favor of USC. Moving on to UCLA and Michigan. Michigan favored by 7 points. UCLA has been playing lights out, even without their best player. It's been impressive to see what UCLA can do. They're just not that great of a team, but they've just been playing well this time of year. And that's, like we were talking about earlier with Oregon State, these teams can be dangerous. And I didn't do a comparison between Oregon State and UCLA because UCLA is UCLA and Oregon State's Oregon State. But this year they're kind of got that same thing going. They're both Pac-12 teams. They're both mid-tier Pac-12 teams, if not Oregon State being a low-tier Pac-12 team. They're just maybe not as talented as some of these other teams that are in it in the Elite Eight. But I could definitely see UCLA making this a ball game. I mean, you beat Alabama. A lot of people had Alabama beating Michigan in the Elite Eight. So once again, I'm going to play the underdog. I'm going to play these 7 points in favor of UCLA. That's my opinion. I think that's going to be. I think there's going to be a lot of money on UCLA plus 7. I believe that line was at 7.5 this morning. So I could definitely see a 7-point play being the smart play here. But yeah, that's it for the Elite Eight action. There's one NBA game I'm really interested in. It's Indiana Pacers and Wizards tonight in Washington, but Bradley Beal's day to day. If Bradley Beal plays, I like Wizards money line at plus 170. I think that's a really good play tonight in the NBA, but that's if Bradley Beal plays. So pay attention to the injury report and see what happens there. But that'll be it for me. Like I said, short, quick, going to get done with it. I'm super excited about the Elite Eight action tonight, especially Arkansas being in the Elite Eight since the first time since 95. So really happy and excited tonight. I didn't want to dive too much into an episode today. We will be back tomorrow with some NBA action and possibly some baseball action. So stay tuned and we will get back with you. But I appreciate y'all watching, man. We'll be back on tomorrow. Take it easy.